The reason why so many of us miss on this ultimate reality, and I'm gonna argue the peace and stability it brings, because I want to keep saying it, if that's ultimate reality, I'm gonna be just fine. Christian, you're gonna be just fine. Why? Because this is ultimate reality. Now, the reason why so few of us get this peace and stability is because we have a tendency, look right at me, I love you. We have a tendency to set up our own little baby throne and try to rule and reign over our own lives, setting up our little tiny pathetic kingdom against this one. All right? So wherever you, look right at me, wherever you decide, and we talked some about this last week, I don't have to obey this. I don't have to walk in this. I'm gonna decide about sexuality. I don't care what God says. I'm gonna decide how I spend my money. I don't care what God says. I'm gonna live my life like you have set up this pathetic little baby throne and you've sat on it and you're trying to reign and rule. And I love you, but you are terrible at being God. And in light of this vibrant throne where all attention and affection and power and authority are traveling towards in this very moment, for you to set up like a little tyke baby throne and pretend that you're gonna reign and rule is rebellion against God. And it explains why you're angry, why you're addicted, why you're frustrated, why you're lonely, why? Because you can't be God. Gosh, on top of that, everyone who's been sucked into your little kingdom is miserable, anxious, nervous, knows at any moment it could fall to pieces. Why? Brother says you lack the power. Like all power is his. That's why his throne is sure. You don't lack. Gosh, did the last week teach you anything about how powerless, literally, you were? Why do we do this over and over again? Just set up our own little baby throne in competition with this one. It makes us so miserable and we're just blind to it. So I love this. Let me ask this. Surely by now, I'm just looking around there, surely by now, you're starting to get that you can't solve a lot of stuff about yourself. Like those deeper longings. So I don't, maybe you have a checklist, maybe the checklist is just in your head. Aren't you getting to the age where a lot of those boxes are starting to get ticked and yet nothing's really better? Right? You type A'ers, you typed that thing up as a junior in high school. Right? Everybody else was playing sports and having fun. You did a spreadsheet about how your life was gonna go. Okay, you graduated. Maybe you got your house. Maybe you found the spouse. Maybe you got the kid. Maybe I don't know what your list would have. These are kind of common things. You'd have this or you'd have that. So let me ask, how's that going for you, King Stan? Hadn't solved it. Longing's still there, right? Like that, there's something more than this is still there, isn't it? Yeah, you know what? Because you can't rule and reign over your life. You don't have the capacity, the strength, the wisdom, the presence, the power. And this means that everybody else around you, you're either manipulating or they're manipulating you. I love this quote by Clowney. Here's what he says. Without worship, we live manipulated and manipulating lives. We move in either frightened panic or deluded lethargy, as we are, listen to this, in turn, alarmed by specters and soothed by placebos. Dadgum, that's good. Now, here's what he just said. If you don't live a life of worship and that throne, not your little baby throne, like the throne we're looking at, then what happens to you is you begin to swing back and forth between, according to Clowney, specters, alarmed by specters. Tell me that ain't the last 3 years. Alarmed, nervous, anxious, and so what do? You go soothe yourself with placebos. Let me talk straight. A good glass of wine, a good glass of bourbon and scotch is a good gift of God's grace to be enjoyed responsibly. Drinking a bottle of wine a day to get you through life and to soothe your anxiety is rebellion against the God of the universe. Let me soothe my frenetic anxiety about the world. Hey, you know what porn is? Porn is a placebo of soothing. That's what's going on in these things we run. See how quiet it is in here? Because nobody wants to tell you this. But this is what's going to save your life. What is an emotional affair all about? It's a placebo. What's an actual affair? It's a placebo. What's drunkenness in the Bible? It's a placebo, right? I'm freaked out about how the world's going. My little reign and rule's going to crap, so let me soothe it for a little bit. And it never brings about the peace and stability that the one true throne of reality brings. And gosh, this is a hot mess right now. Like if you just scroll social media right now, how much of it is kind of the jokey, opening a bottle at 9 a.m. kind of thing? Like, it's a joke, but it's true. We are numbing ourselves as this season of life has exposed. We're little pathetic kings and queens. I think you can feel it. I don't think I'm saying anything you don't know. I just think, by and large, we're not supposed to talk like this.